Let's talk PCOS and cardio. Are you helping your body or are you making things worse? Let's break it down. If you are a PCOS gal like myself, you know how frustrating it is. You can Google things, you can look on Facebook groups, you can look anywhere, and you're going to get conflicting information on what workouts are the best, what cardio to do, how to eat, etc. And so, one of the things that I found the most frustrating was trying to figure out like how the heck should I be working out? Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the cardio side of the workouts because typically when we are talking to our doctors or looking at Dr. Google, we get this recommendation that we should only be doing cardio when we have PCOS. Two of my favorite cardio myths for PCOS are one, you should only be doing HIIT exercises. So this is where you are super intense for like 45 seconds and then take a minute off or some type of like tabata or something, so you are really just raising your heart rate, bringing it back down, raising your heart rate, bringing it back down. And number two, that you can absolutely do no high intensity workouts with PCOS. I This one is kind of person dependent, but I agree slash disagree, and we'll talk about that in a second. Both of those also seem very conflicting because with HIIT exercises, we are bringing our heart rate up to bring it back down. But isn't bringing our heart rate up part of that intensity that we're supposed to be avoiding? So this is why it's really confusing, is because everything we're told just seems to be conflicting in some way or another. So really, what the heck are we supposed to be doing with our cardio? Cardio can be very beneficial for PCOS and our symptoms. I am not one of those gym bros who is like, no cardio, cardio sucks, blah, blah, blah. I think that cardio is really actually a beneficial piece for managing PCOS. But like I mentioned, with the intense workouts and bringing your heart rate up, I believe that it is very important to understand your heart rate zones and then also understand your symptoms. So if you are in a place with your PCOS where your symptoms are absolutely going wild, you have a lot of bloating, not consistent periods, or your periods are just really funky in general, you have the acne, you just have a lot of like the PCOS symptoms, the fatigue. It is important to get moving, but I would recommend not doing the most intense workouts because that is likely making your symptoms worse. Instead, focusing on your heart rate zones of like that zone 1 and 2 is really going to help manage those symptoms. Like I mentioned previously with my own PCOS, I like my trainer told me you need to slow it down. If your heart rate gets above a certain amount, you need to either stop, bring it back down, or if it keeps spiking up, your workout is done. And this helped my PCOS big time, where now I am able to bring my heart rate zones up to zones 4 and 5 without having symptoms, without having flare ups of PCOS or my endometriosis. It's really beneficial to understand your heart rate zones and how to use them with your actual symptoms if you do have symptoms. Like I said, if you have symptoms, keep it in the lower heart rate zones. If you don't have symptoms, if your PCOS is pretty managed, then you can dabble in all of the heart rate zones, and I 100% encourage you to do so. So here are 5 ways that cardio actually can help your PCOS. One, cardio can improve your insulin sensitivity, which is very common with women who have PCOS. Two, cardio helps with weight management. So, yes, I want you to still be lifting weights. I want you to still have a well-rounded program, but cardio can really help with managing your weight, either if you have lean PCOS or if you are overweight because of PCOS. Three, cardio helps with high blood pressure as well as other cardiovascular diseases and issues, which women with PCOS are a little bit more prone towards. Four, cardio helps with our metabolic health. And with women who have PCOS, all of our metabolic numbers are typically a little bit funky and need some TLC. And number 5, cardio helps with our period and making it more regular, which, as you know, if you have PCOS, a lot of times it is connected to having an irregular cycle. Saying that, I do not recommend just picking up and deciding to like go for a run if you haven't been doing your cardio. So, how can you start implementing cardio into your workout routine or your everyday life to help your PCOS symptoms? My first recommendation would be to start small and gradually increase. So, again, if you have not been running, please don't go out and just start running. Instead, maybe start walking. Or this is a good time to do kind of that hit running where, or similar to like the couch to 5K, where you're doing like an interval training where a slight jog with paired with a lot of rest in between each interval. Number two, I would recommend combining your cardio with other forms of workouts. So, strength training is very, very important. Building that muscle, especially for us women, we start losing muscle at a rapid rate after 30. So, starting to build that muscle, combining it with the cardio, both of those are the perfect storm to really help improve your PCOS symptoms. Next, I would recommend following some type of plan. One of the reasons that I believe I gave myself PCOS is because I did not take rest days whatsoever. And so, having a plan, knowing what you're doing every single day of the week, knowing which days you're going to rest, which days you're going to focus on cardio versus strength training, etc., it really helps you focus on being balanced in general, but then not overdoing it where you are depleting yourself more and making your symptoms worse. And finally, prioritizing your rest and recovery is massively important, especially with PCOS. I recommend having at least 2 rest days a week from your workouts. This does not mean that you're doing active rest days where you're going on like a 14er hike or something crazy like that. You can still definitely go on a walk, focus on mobility, etc. But really prioritizing those days off from the high intensity workouts, from the weightlifting, giving your body time to rest and recover is so important for your PCOS and your hormone health. If you are a PCOS gal, what is your go-to form of cardio? And if you don't have cardio right now in your routine, I want to hear too in the comments. What is the holdup? What are you concerned about? Where do you want to start? Let me help you keep you accountable. And that is all I have for you on Hormone Happy Hour. I will see you next time. Cheers.